Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are all welcome to this lesson, and inshallah, in this lesson, we are taking the I'rab Jam'ul Muannath As-Salim. As we've already seen Jam'ul Muthanna, we've seen I'rab Jam'ul Mudhakkar As-Salim, we've seen the I'rabul Muthanna, we've seen the I'rab Jam'ul Mudhakkar As-Salim. We've seen the i'rab of, we are now coming to look at the i'rab of Jam'ul Muannath As-Salim. Now, when we talk about the Jam'ul Muannath As-Salim, basically what we mean is a plural that is made up by adding alif and ta. So when you have a feminine word like dajaja, then you add alif and ta, then you have dajajat. Okay, so you have a feminine word, it ends with ta marbuta. You take out the ta marbuta, you put alif and ta there. Sayyaratun, then you have sayyarat. So any plural that is made up by adding alif and ta is called Jam'ul Muannath As-Salim, and that is sound feminine plural. We are going to look at how to grammatically analyze it, and then also how it behaves. Basically this is quite simple. The i'rab of Jam'u Muannath As-Salim is quite simple. When it is marfu, it takes dhamma. When it is mansub and majroor, it takes kasra. That is basically the summary of the whole lesson. But then let's go through and then see some vocabularies, expressions, see some more bayan, inshallah. Al-amthila, it says, Ba'dat dajajatu. Ba'da is to lay egg, as we've already seen previously. And it says Ba'da bimana to lay egg. So when it says Ba'dat dajajatu, it means that the hens have laid egg. They've laid eggs. And then we have Hadarat al-Fatimatu. Fatimatu is the plural of Fatima. So the Fatima, a lot of ladies called Fatima, they are present or they've come. And then we have Akalat al-Baqaratu. So you note the Dhamma there. Akalat al-Baqaratu. The cows have eaten. Then we have Namat shajaratu. Namat is from Nama. Nama, to grow. And when it says Namat shajaratu, that is the plants have grown. So all these parts, these nouns come as what? Fa'ilun. So when we realize that when we have Jam'ul Muannath As-Salim, and it is supposed to be marfu'un, the sign is dhamma. It takes the al-alama al-asliya. It takes the basic sign. Okay. And then we have Dhabahtu ad-dajajati. Dhabahtu. Dhabaha is to slaughter. So Dhabahtu, I slaughtered ad-dajajatu, the hens. So here the ad-dajajat is maf'ulun bi, mansubun. But then look at the sign here is kasra instead of fatha. It says Madahtu al-Fatimati. I praised the Fatimas. I praised them. Look at the sign again, kasra. Halabtu al-Baqarati. Halabtu, I milked the cows. I extracted milk from them. Saqaytu al-Shajarati. I irrigated. Saqaytu, to give water to. Saqa. Saqaytu shajarati. I irrigated the plants. Here too it takes kasra. So when it comes as maf'ulun bihi, where it's supposed to be mansub and take fatha, you find the Jam'ul Muannath As-Salim taking kasra instead of fatha. Okay, now let's look at when it is majroor. It says Hajama Tha'alabu ala dajajati. Hajama, to attack. Al-Tha'alabu, the fox. Hajama Tha'alabu ala dajajati. The fox has attacked the hands, or has pounced upon the hands. Here it is ism majrur due to the harf jar ala. We have shakartu lil fatimati, I thanked the Fatimas. We have harf jar here, so it's majrur, it ends with kasra. And then we have jalastu ba'idan anil baqarati, I sat far from the cows. Here too is harf jar, and so it is ism majrur wa alamatu jarrihi al kasra. ذهبت إلى الشجرات, I went to the plants. There is harf jar again, and so it ends with kasra. So basically, before we get to the bahth, when jam'ul mu'annath as-salim is marfu'un, it comes as fa'il, it comes as mubtada, it comes as na'ibul fa'il, it comes in any position where it's supposed to be marfu', it takes dhamma. Just like a single noun, as we saw, it takes dhamma. Okay. When the jam'ul mu'annath as-salim comes as maf'ulun bihi, instead of taking fatha, it takes kasra. So we have the bahtu dajajati, and then we have al-fatimati, al-baqarati, al-shajarati. Okay. And then also we have when it is majrur, when it is majrur, it takes kasra, that is normal. So the only one that goes against the normal ruling we know is when the jam'ul mu'annath as-salim is maf'ulun bihi. When it's supposed to be mansub, taking kasra is not the order. Okay, but then that is what happens. The jam'ul mu'annath salim, when it is mansub, it takes kasra instead of fatha. Take note of that. Okay, so he says al-bahth. So let's make it, hasten it, because we've already gotten the bayan. He says انظر إلى الكلمات الأخيرة في الأمثلة السابقة تجد كلا منها جمع مؤنث سالما. He said, look at the last ending words of all the examples. You find each of it being jam'u mu'annas saliman. You find each of it being sound feminine plural. They all end with alif and ta. He says, وَتَجِدْهَا فِي الْكِسْمِ الْأَوَّلِ مَرْفُوعًا. In the first part, they are all marfu because they are what? Fa'il. That is what he says here. لأن كلا منها يقع فاعلا. All of them come as fa'il. وفي الكسم الثاني منصوبة. In their second part, in the second four, you find all of them coming as mansub because لأن كلا منها يقع مفعولا به, because all of them come as مفعول به. وفي الكسم الثالث مجرورة. In the last part, they come as اسم مجرور لأن كلا منها مسبوق بحرف جر, because they are all preceded with حرف جر. ألا إلى لي and all that. Okay. And it says وإذا بحثنا عن علامات الإعراب فيها وجدناها جارية على الأصل في القسمين الأول والثالث. It says if we should search for the علامات الإعراب, the signs of إعراب, that is the fatha, dhamma, kasra and all that. It says وجدناها جارية, we find it following على الأصل, following the basis. The basis is that when it is marfu, and when a word is marfu, it takes dhamma. When a word is mansub, it takes fatha. When a word is majrur, it takes kasra. We realize that in fil kismayn al-awwal, in the first part where it is marfu, it took dhamma alright. Wathalis, and in the last part where it is ism majrur, it took the kasra alright. So it says if you should search for alamat al-i'rab in the examples we've just seen, wajadnaha, we find them jariyatan ala al-asl, it is going according to the basis, it's going according to the fundamentals. Fil kismayn al-awwal wa thalis, in the first group and the last third group. But the second group, as I've already indicated to you, where it's supposed to be mansub and take fatha, it takes kasra instead. So it says لأنها في القسم الأول, because in the first part it is مرفوعة بالضمة, which is the original qaida. It's jariyatun ala al-asl. It follows the original qaida, the fundamentals. It says وَفِي الْكِتْمِ الثالث, and in the last part you find it majrura bil kasra. You find it majrur and the sign is kasra, which is also very normal. That is the fundamental ruling. But it says amma fil qism thani, as for the second partition where it comes as maf'ulun bihi mansub, حيث تقع كل كلمة منها مفعولا, where you find all the words coming as مفعول به, فإنا لا نجد أثرا للفتحة. We do not find any sign of fatha there. Instead of maf'ul being mansub and taking fatha, we don't find fatha there in the second part. وإنما نجد آخر كل كلمة منها مكسورا. Instead, we find all the words ending with kasra. وإذا لا بد أن تكون الكسرة نائبة عن الفتحة في حالة النصب. And so definitely the kasra must be naiba عن الفتحة, must be a replacement for the fatha. Because when it is marfu, it took dhamma. When it is majrur, it took kasra, alright. But when it is mansub, instead of taking fatha, it is taking kasra. So in doing the i'rab, we say that the alamat nasb is kasra niyabatan. That is in replacement, niyabatan anil fatha, in replacement of the fatha. We will do some i'rab, so it will be simpler. He says, al-qaida, the ruling, jam'ul mu'annath salim yurfa'u bid-dhamma. Jam'u mu'annath salim is made marfu by dhamma. When it's marfu, it takes dhamma. Wa yunsabu wa yujarru bil kasra. And when it is mansub or majrur, it takes kasra. Okay, let's do some i'rab and see something. So here باضت الدجاجة. باضت فعل ماضي مبني على الفتح لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل المتحرك، لا لاتصاله بالتاء التانيث، والتاء التانيث مبني على السكون. الدجاجة. So you can go ahead and do منع من ظهوره التقاء الساكنين and all that. When we get to this point, we will make sure we do i'rab of that. We don't want to mix up all this i'rab to confuse anybody. Okay. We have الدجاجات. الدجاجات فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Okay. ذبحت فعل وفاعل. الدجاجات. الدجاجات مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الكسرة نيابة عن الفتحة لأنه جمع المؤنث السالم. Okay. And then we have هجم فعل ماضي الثعلب فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة على حرف جر مبني على السكون لا محل له من الإعراب. الدجاجات اسم مجرور وعلامة جره الكسرة نيابة هي علامة جره الكسرة, because there is حرف جر, and so the noun becomes اسم مجرور وعلامة جره الكسرة. خلاص. Okay, in case any of the i'rab is unclear, please notify us. Let's clarify it for you. Till we meet again, have a very good Arabic time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.